Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on the whole MarieFD or MarieFD situation. Now, if you don't know, obviously, there was a whole thing of her being called out for some past things over in Nijisanji. Now, she used to be Reimu Endou, who you guys probably know, pretty big talent over at Nijisanji, and obviously, she recently had her indie debut. And yeah, obviously, off the back of this indie debut, there was a post from another VTuber called Bariloaf, essentially kind of like accusing her of some pretty like terrible things, including like doxing, harassment, and all of this kind of stuff, which obviously is a really big problem. I mean, you know, that's a big issue, and yeah, if that was true, then it would be a serious thing. Now, recently, about 9 hours ago, Bariloaf actually provided a response, which I thought was pretty interesting. Essentially, yeah, with a Google Doc saying, "I want to sincerely apologize for my frequently deleting my tweets. I understand how this might appear from an outsider's perspective, especially when discussing serious issues. Thank you for giving me the space to make mistakes and learn from them. Here's my final response." So they title it Final Response. Usually, whenever you have stuff like final response, this means they are never going to reply again. They're not going to talk about it again. Usually, that is the final thing, right? And, well, it seems like it's been taken down. It says that it's in violation of community terms of service, and it's been taken down. Now, I don't know by who. I don't know if it's by a talent, whether it's by fans, like mass reporting or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it seems like it's no longer up, and that is pretty disappointing because I did want to go through it. Now, I did actually look at it a little bit whenever it came out. So again, there's been a lot of kind of conversation surrounding it, but it seems like a lot of people aren't really buying it. You can see this is at 1 million views now and has, yeah, 700 likes, which isn't the best ratio. That's a pretty bad ratio whenever it comes to internet drama, right? And like, bro, it's not looking very good. Obviously, a lot of people have been commenting down here saying, you know, Bari, I know this is a really tough decision for you and one that I hope you can heal from. I think this is best resolved somewhere else where the public isn't seeing so much private conversations, as although one person consented to giving you the screenshot, the other person surely didn't. Having your personal information and background exposed, as well as drama created on your name, was a painful and horrible experience for you, so I don't think the best course is to cause the same experience even more, so when it's not the when it's not the person you had the initial conflict with. I think you should go offline and seek some legal counsel to try and resolve this directly with M and before releasing any other statement, if any. Wishing you the best. So yeah, obviously a lot of people have been saying like, hey, this probably should have been handled in private, which 100% is true. This should have been sorted in DMs with like each other, or it should have been sorted through like lawyers in a legal kind of setting, right? Either way, I think this shouldn't have been put on Twitter for some Google Docs, because again, it's becoming more and more common that these kind of Google Docs are now coming out and that more VTubers are making these kind of things, because it is a speculative kind of event. People want to get the attention from this. They're not doing it because, you know, they genuinely want to put out a response. They want to get attention. Now, sometimes they do. Usually with a lot of the bigger VTubers, sometimes it's for attention. Sometimes though, they genuinely do just want to get a response out. And but you know, some of this kind of stuff seems like it is a speculative thing. It is something that they want people to see. They want people to gain an opinion of another person, and obviously that becomes yeah, a little bit of an issue when there isn't much proof behind it. Now, what a lot of people have been saying with this document, because obviously we can't actually go through it detailedly, but essentially a lot of people have been talking about it, saying that there was like kind of a lack of proof and stuff surrounding it. And yeah, obviously people have been talking over at Kurosanji on the subreddit over here, essentially saying stuff like this. The biggest damning of this all is the relationship drama. Obviously they're talking about Ike and stuff. Apparently a lot of this document was surrounding like Ike and some other VTubers as well, which were kind of brought in without any kind of permission or whatever, which many people seem to be pretty angry at, because again, some people don't want to be dragged into this kind of stuff whenever it comes to this. And yeah, I mean, people are very angry about that, which is 100% understandable. And we can go on as well to some other comments saying stuff like, the main takeaways from this aren't really about Marie IMO. The most pressing and evident statements made in this document have to do with Ike and his alleged experiences. As far as allegations go with screenshots, The most serious and or relevant ones are Ike claimed to be doxxed, bullied, and excluded from events by other livers, management being blasé and passive when Ike voiced those allegations. So again, that's kind of like classic Nijisanji behavior there. I mean, you know, we all know how Nijisanji is. We all know how they kind of have been towards their talent and kind of dealing with stuff. They've been very, very passive and very, very like, oh, we don't want to get involved, which is a very terrible way to run your company. And I mean, you know, obviously Nijisanji's always had those issues, right? I mean, it's not anything new being exposed there, but it does kind of reveal the time that Ike had, and they said, which would probably provide the most context on why he graduated the way he did. It seemingly seemed out of the blue, without informing the vast majority of livers in the company, and then leaving the internet as of now. And it aligns with the past claims and rumors of bullying in Niji-en. Of course, is not confirmed, and thus should be viewed with a healthy dose of skepticism. So yeah, I mean, you know, people have been talking about that and the Ike side of things because, again, that can be a pretty interesting kind of topic to talk about whenever it comes to this, right? We go down saying the amount of info, everyone's personal lives is honestly just disgusting to me, especially since the most important party, Blue, isn't even on the internet to consent to most of this, which again, apparently he gave the okay for the information. Edit, which I don't know is true, maybe she's lying. What a kind of mess. And yeah, that is why a lot of people are not really believing a lot in this story, is because it just seems to be a mess. A lot of what has come out in this kind of document is things like, for example, like 4chan accounts and other things that are sending like death threats and different kind of doxing things towards Bariloaf, which is terrible. You know, it's terrible that it's happening, and whoever it is, obviously I hope they get caught. But what Bariloaf is essentially doing here is trying to kind of correlate that to Marie, saying that Marie was the one that was doing it, Marie was the one behind the 4chan account and stuff like that, with no actual proof. And that's why I think a lot of people haven't really liked this response, is because there is no proof, right? There's no actual genuine hard proof that Marie is doing any of this, and people are just like, well, if there's no proof, what do you want us to do? Like, we can't do anything if there's no proof. Like, obviously they will be sympathetic to the cause if she showed any kind of evidence of this actually happening and it being Marie, right? Now, she does show evidence of actions happening, but we don't know, we can't link it to Marie, and yeah, obviously a lot of people are not too happy about that. And yeah, we've got even more people down in the comments here saying, at this point, while it certainly could be true, 4chan being anonymous ends up just being speculation. It could be her, but it also could be anyone else that she knows and that she potentially vented to and has a severe reaction to what has been told. And yeah, obviously we know the kind of negative past that her and Marie have had, or Reimu have had. I mean, again, it depends what you know her by, really. But, you know, we know she has a negative kind of bias towards her. So again, that could also be another thing that, you know, could be factored into the situation. She obviously hasn't had, you know, the best of experiences with her, which could make her then go, oh, well, maybe she's the one that is spreading all of this kind of stuff over on 4chan and places like this, which, you know, without any proof, it's just like, okay, you know, what do you want us to do? We can't do anything about that, and that's why many people are not happy. They're saying, I understand trying to defend yourself, but you're putting a lot of people at risk by trying to expose Marie. You didn't censor names in the screenshot, and you obviously have hints on who the artist's next partners are, and it's just extremely obvious who is who. This is not cool. And yeah, that's another factor that a lot of people are bringing up here, is the fact that, you know, some other kind of talent are brought in, including like Ike and people like that, where they are kind of brought up. And yeah, that is true. You know, they're bringing in people that don't want to be kind of brought into this, and I think that is also a big problem for some people. Also, some people saying, where's the doxing? Like, the legit proof, please. This is a serious allegation and could cause someone's career to end, despite you saying, please don't harass anyone. And yeah, we all know that, you know, if you say, please don't harass anyone, it's all for like a spectacular kind of event, right? We all know the real reason why you've decided to make a Google Doc is because you want people to not necessarily attack them, but you want people to be against them and have an opinion against them, right? Which obviously can cause a lot of bad actors to go ahead and harass them. You know what you're doing whenever you release a Google Doc, right? So again, I do think that is a pretty big issue. But yeah, this is pretty much a full update on the whole Bariloaf situation. I just kind of wanted to give it to you guys. As I said, the document is not up, so we cannot go through it in detail, which is pretty disappointing. But at the end of the day, I do think there just isn't enough proof to kind of believe in anything that Bariloaf is saying at the moment. Now, if she does come out with proof that it is Marie behind this, then sure, then we can start to talk about why this is the case. But I think at the end of the day, this should have been really solved behind the scenes in DMs and with lawyers. She also mentioned the fact that Marie actually sent her a cease and desist, which again also could add an extra kind of layer to it. She's kind of using it as a negative point towards Marie, but I think if obviously Marie is in the right, you know, maybe a cease and desist kind of proves the fact that she's that confident in herself, that she is right in this situation. So again, obviously there's many different factors to it, and obviously I'll keep you guys up to date if there's anything huge that is happening with this. But for now, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also go to GameStop, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.